Right, welcome guys. Bob Iger finally admits that he has been making utter garbage films. Yes, kind of, in a way, because he's discussing superhero or Marvel fatigue and basically says there is none. We just need to make good movies. Right. So you haven't been then? Obviously. And you know that? What? What's stopping you from making good movies now, chap, huh? My God, anyway, let's dive into this today. Hit subscribe if you're new here, guys. Turn the bell notifications on. Bob Iger pushes back on Marvel fatigue, but says Disney has quietly cancelled movies. Sorry, what? Right, okay. So those movies clearly weren't good then. Why did you greenlight them in the first place? So the Disney CEO was interviewed at a Morgan Stanley conference in San Francisco yesterday on Tuesday, where he called the Nelson Peltz-led proxy fight a distraction for the company. No, mate, what's a distraction is your nonsense woke agenda. That's a distraction from making good product. That is it. A distraction for the company is your crappy agenda. That is the distraction. That's the primary distraction away from profit, away from entertainment, away from anything that you as a business should be focusing on. Crazy. Disney CEO Bob Iger is pursuing a major overhaul of the company's film output. Oh, right, okay. Believe it when I see it. In the midst of something of a strike-induced box office drought, and after a challenging year for Disney's film slate, I'll say, they lost money pretty much every single... Yeah, they lost money, a great deal of cash. The executive said Tuesday that we're doing a lot to turn around Disney's feature film business, which hit on hard times that needed addressing. But if it's true that there is no such thing as superhero fatigue and it's just films that are bad, then the hard times are you making bad films. Iger, speaking at a conference hosted by Morgan Stanley in San Francisco on Tuesday, was pressed about what he is doing to turn the film business around. Oh, right, okay, well, let's have a look then, shall we? You have to kill things you no longer believe in. Can we? You? No? Oh, okay. And that's not easy in this business. Because either you've gotten started, you have some sunk costs, or it's a relationship with either your employees or with a creative community. It's not an easy thing. But you... Hold on a minute. Weren't these people bitching and complaining that David Zaslav binned off Batgirl? Weren't they? I swear they were. Are you now just admitting to doing a similar thing? I could have sworn you did. What? Anyway, it's not an easy thing, but you got to make those tough calls. We've actually made those tough calls. We've not been that public about it, but we've killed a few projects already that we just didn't feel were strong enough. Were any of these projects, announced immediately before an investor call, perchance? And then immediately after the investor call, you cancelled them? Was that what? Yeah? I bet it was. So, Iger added that he's been spending a lot of time with the creators, watching these films, giving detailed notes in these films, engaging in a respectful process that results in improvement. So again, if these are garbage and they don't make any money, we can literally just blame you, can we? All the shareholders can blame you? Yeah? Because that's... You admit it now. And you've not been doing your fiduciary duty anyway. So he pushed back on the idea of superhero or franchise fatigue, saying that it was not an accident that Marvel's first 33 films generated just under $30 billion at the box office. So here we go. A lot of people think it's audience fatigue. It's not audience fatigue. They want great films. And if you build it great, they will come. And there are countless examples of that. Right. But they haven't come to your films for a long time, which means you've not been making good films. Which means you should know this. Which means you should be able to try and hopefully change it. Yeah? Jesus. They literally admitting, by his own words, there's no audience fatigue. They just want great films. If you build it great, they will come. There are countless examples of that. Some of ours and some are others. What films of yours that have been great? None. He says Oppenheimer is a perfect example of that. Just a fantastic film. And he said that the focus is really important. We reduce the output of Marvel, both number of films they make and the number of TV shows, and that really becomes critical. But I feel good about the team. I feel good about the new the IP we're making. I talked about a lot of the projects. We look years ahead, really, and it's iterative. You don't actually look years ahead, though. That's been disproven many times. Many times, actually, by your own creators. So we know for a fact that you weren't going to be... Kang was never a plan. You never planned on doing Kang. You had Loki, and you were like, oh, they're good. We'll make a Kang. We'll do Kang. Like, you don't look years ahead. You don't plan years ahead. This is all smoke and mirrors and just nonsense. But yeah, you are right. If there's good films, people will go and watch them. But there's been an influx of garbage crap. No one wants to watch garbage crap, funnily enough. No one has the money to spend it frivolously on shit. Not only do you look at the films you're making, you look at every part of that process. Who the directors are, who's being cast, reading scripts. I personally watch films 3 to 5 times with the team and just create a culture of excellence and respect. Hold on, when do you do that? Is this a new thing? Because you literally, no one had watched anything to do with Daredevil Born Again until the strikes happened. You had shot half the bloody series. No one had watched anything until the strikes happened. If we listen to your own dialogue, your own quotes, your own interviews. You admitted to no one having watched anything when the strikes happened. It gave you the opportunity to review the footage, and you said it's not quite right. So that means that you don't watch anything. Actually, you don't do that unless you only watch finished films. Which by that point, it's too late. It's too late. And again, the track record speaks for itself. The track record of shit. The track record of utterly abysmal box offices that you've given the last year. Dial of Destiny lost money. The Marvels lost over $200 million. I mean, there's many films that you've done that have completely tanked. So, yeah, the track record does speak for itself and says that you are not a creative tour de force that you clearly believe you are. Anyway, on a related note, Iger also touted Disney's 2024 slate, calling the upcoming Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes one of the better films in the franchise. The upcoming Inside Out Moana sequels, and also the big Marvel release of the year, Deadpool and Wolverine. So, yeah, I mean, look, there you go. There'll be more about this moving forwards, but it'll be funny to see what happens. And he also comments on Nelson Peltz. Says, this campaign is, in a way, designed to distract us, to take our eye off all those balls that we talked about. The only balls you've got near you, mate, are Mickey Mouse's that you're sucking on. Because you're not doing anything else with your time, clearly. It's that simple. And I'm working really hard to not let this distract me. Because when I get distracted, everybody who works for me gets distracted, and that's not a good thing. Have you been distracted for like the past couple of years then? You pleb. What are you doing? Anyway, there you go. Hopefully you had a good laugh. Cheers. Take care. Bye-bye now.